Hi, this is Lakshmi Chaudhry, founder and editor of Splainer.in and the host of What the Happened Here. Today we look at the fresh batch of cheetahs being flown into Gandhi Sagar sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh, a MeToo shocker in China, new tourism laws coming to Goa, and an interesting fact about Jesus and his amazing cricketing skills. The Indian government is planning to fly in a fresh batch of cheetahs from South Africa. As you may remember, the first lot ended up in Kuno in Madhya Pradesh. This time, they'll be housed at the Gandhi Sagar Sanctuary, also in Madhya Pradesh. This is great news, except the Kuno experiment has not gone well, and the government seems unwilling to admit its mistakes. And if wildlife officials don't acknowledge what went wrong, it is highly unlikely they'll get it right the second time. Let's first look at what happened in Kuno. The government relocated a total of 20 cheetahs from Africa to Kuno, 8 from Namibia and 12 from South Africa. The first batch were brought in on PM Modi's birthday in 2022. 7 of the 20 cats from Africa have died. 2 were not fit to be released into the wild. 3 of the 4 cubs born in the first litter died, and 1 is being raised in captivity. A litter of 3 was born in January and another 6 in March, bringing the total number of cheetahs up to 27. In its one-year assessment, the government claimed success on 3 counts. More than 50% of the introduced animals have survived. Home ranges have been established for the cats, and we now have India-born cubs. So, yay! But, experts have pointed out glaring holes in that glowing report card. For starters, survival rate is assessed for animals in the wild. The time in the wild is measured by what experts call cheetah months. That's differentiated from time spent in captivity or in sheltered areas called bomas. These cheetahs were supposed to spend a total of 142 cheetah months. That's if you add up the months for each of the animals. But the actual number is a miserable 26.77. Only 2 animals are in the wild grasslands as of now. The rest are restricted to 1 square kilometer bomas. This means 7 out of 20 animals died even though they were mostly in protected areas. None of them have any kind of established range since they've hardly spent enough time in the wild. As for the cubs, again they were born mostly in captivity to mothers in these bomas. Success is when cubs are born in the wild. As for Gandhi Sagar, the sanctuary has all the same problems as Kuno. Not enough prey and way more human activity. Highways pass right outside its boundaries, and cheetahs will have to live alongside a dam. The reservoir is used for fishing, the banks for farming, and there's a township with dam employees. But the biggest problem? The project has been shedding as many experts as cheetahs. The government has sacked Yadav Jhala, who conceptualized and led the project. In August 2023, the 4 South African experts on the team told the Supreme Court that they've become quote-unquote window dressing. So it's not clear who will take the lead for Gandhi Sagar, and that's worrying because many of the cheetahs and cubs died in Kuno due to the incompetence of sanctuary officials. None of this means that these cheetahs are doomed, but it is now clear that there will be small populations of cheetahs in different regions. Most of these sanctuaries will have to be fenced in to ensure their survival, and officials will have to physically move the cheetahs from one sanctuary to another to maintain genetic diversity. Since cheetahs cannot travel great distances unlike leopards, so not exactly a self-sustaining wild population, which was the original goal. 2 of China's most prominent MeToo activists have been sentenced to prison for inciting subversion of the state, which is a national security offense. Their crime? Helping survivors of sexual harassment speak out. The verdict is shocking even in a country where dissent is ruthlessly squashed. According to experts, China is seeing an almost zero-tolerance approach to even the mildest form of activism. It is a sign of changing political climate under President Xi Jinping, who is determined to exert absolute control over every aspect of Chinese life. In this China, even feminists are traitors aiding hostile foreign powers. The government of Goa is prepping a controversial rehaul of its tourism laws. This will include a new tourism safety force made up of police personnel who will be given sweeping powers to search, seize and arrest. They'll be assisted by quote-unquote tourist guards who are nobody knows as of now. All this is to keep tourists safe and free from annoying touts. These are the guys who follow visitors around, offering to be guides, get hotel rooms, transportation, etc., etc. The bigger plan is to help Goa compete with the likes of Sri Lanka and Vietnam as a tourist destination. But here's the catch. The upgrade will be funded by a 2% sustainability fee slapped on every transaction, on top of GST. It will supposedly be collected from the businesses, which are guaranteed to pass it on to the customer. So Goa will get more expensive, which may be exactly what Chief Minister Pramod Sawant wants. Last year, he said, we have seen the consequences of quantity tourists coming to Goa. Goa is currently overfull. Getting quality tourists will benefit everyone, from shack owners to taxi operators. If we want quality tourists, we have to provide quality services. By quality tourists, he mainly means foreigners, whose numbers have jumped by 150% since the pre-COVID years. Guess the great unwashed mass of Indians should just stay home. We leave you with a cool, weird, interesting bit of trivia to remind you that we live in a cool, weird, interesting world. Since this is World Cup season, we picked up an astonishing fact about Jesus and his cricketing skills. Yes, you heard that right. An Armenian scholar named Dr. Abraham Terian points to an ancient manuscript called the Armenian Gospel of the Infancy. It seems to suggest that the Son of God played a sport with a club and ball, which is likely a precursor to cricket. This is a rough translation. Jesus would take the boys to the seashore and, carrying the playing ball and the club, he would go over the waves of the sea as though he was playing on a frozen surface, hitting the playing ball. And watching him, the boys would scream and say, "Watch the child Jesus, what he does over the waves of the sea." Many would gather there and watching him would be amazed. That's Jesus for you, always a show-off, walking on water, launching cover drives on waves, all those miracles all the time. But here's a super sweet bit about this story. At this time, Jesus was 9 years old and apprenticed to the master dyer. He instructed the little boy to watch his house while he went to collect clothes to be dyed. And the moment he left, Jesus ran off with the other kids to play. Hey, even the Son of God was just a cricket-loving kid at heart. And that's all for now. Each year on our anniversary, the Splainer team goes on a retreat to review, learn, and yes, relax. It's our birthday gift to ourselves. We delayed the break this year so we could cover the election results. So we'll be back in business in July with the most important, interesting, and just plain weird stories out there. I'll see you then.